Most of us have a motor vehicle. I would buy enough insurance so you're covered. It's pennies on the dollar to get increasingly higher levels of coverage. You could spend a few more bucks and get $100,000 more in coverage. So don't cheap out on your car insurance. But when an attorney reaches out, Matt, it's actually quite satisfying and humbling when the attorney reaches out, especially Harvard Law grads. So no, you're super humble, man. I'm telling you, like you're a humble dude. You put your head down, you work hard, you do good work. You're building up a really nice practice.
Like trying to create a graphic or something for social media. And I realized there are people who are much better at this than I am.
Same.
And 100%. I should probably be practicing law.
Like, what am I doing here?
Right. So welcome to another edition of Boston Barristers. Today it's a special edition with a special guest, Chris Earley, a personal injury lawyer in Boston. He is somebody I've admired for a long time, somebody I consider a mentor, who's really helped me get started with the practice, sends me weekly tips about my practice, which I'm really thankful for. And I'm really excited to have you on, Chris.
Oh, thanks, Matt. It means a lot. Appreciate you. It's nice to have you as a friend, a colleague, and I'm glad to know you. So thank you for having me on today. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely. As soon as I started, I said, we got to get Chris on here. And I'm so thankful that we could find a time between both of our schedules and all of that worked out. So I wanted to start by, you recently wrote a book, and you obviously have a very interesting backstory. So I want to start, like, where are you from? Like, what's the elevator pitch for who Chris Earley is?
So, yeah, I thank you for mentioning. I did write a book and memoir. I released it about 6 months ago. It's about my journey. We all have.
Does it have a name?
Yeah, Scaling the Wall. Yes, Scaling the Wall. And so, yeah, I put that 6 months ago, and I wrote that because I kind of had an itch to tell my story. And, like I said, we all have our own journey, our own journey through life. And mine started off a little bit oddly as a child and had some turbulence as a kid. But looking back, I think turbulence as a kid can be a good thing. So I chronicled my journey through that time, and then through good fortune, through meeting my wife, through therapy, I was able to work through stuff so that I could have a good life. Most importantly, so my kids could have a good life, because I'm really all about, like you being a dad, right?
Oh yeah.
It's, heavy for us on our list of priorities, obviously. So it's the top of mind, and I know it's the top of yours. So I wrote the book, so my kids have a record of dad. And so a lot of personal injury lawyers get a bad rep, and deservedly so. There's been the ambulance chasing thing. His theme has been around for a while. I try to just be a little bit different and show up authentically and who I am, and just genuine, authentic Chris Earley. Not trying to appeal to everybody, just a small segment of people who sort of like what I'm saying and choose me to be their attorney. It's a pleasure to serve people. But yeah, it's a long story, but so far it's gone in the right direction. Thank God.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. I mean, it's impressive to go through what you've been through. And I mean, to be vulnerable like that, it's so difficult for us as lawyers and us as men, us as people, us as dads to say, hey, yeah, I mean, I need someone to talk to. I need therapy. And I'm a big believer in that.
I'm with you. Vulnerable is the way, I've discovered, Matt. I mean, later, I'm 48. It took me some time to get here, but some of us, it takes longer than others, and I'm a testament to that. So I encourage the audience, talking to people, being vulnerable, to the extent you're comfortable, I think can really move the needle and give you a lot of insight and help, I feel like.
Oh yeah, definitely. So are you from Boston originally?
I'm from New Jersey, but I've been in Massachusetts for about 30 years, went to Boston University, then went to New England Law, and I started practice after law school about 20 years ago. Time flies. And so blessed to be able to represent injured people. As you said, I have a weekly email. I love geeking out on the business of law, sharing stuff with, guys like yourself. We're all doing this together. We're growing our firms, going through challenges. We're balancing the demands of law, the demand, family. It's not easy. It's tough what you and I do, right?
Definitely.
It's not for the faint of heart. So we have challenges, but there's great reward, I feel like. And you run your firm, I run my firm. There's a lot of opportunities there for us that obviously translate to opportunities for our families. And that to me is the name of the game here.
Yeah. So you moved up here, then I'm doing some quick math in my head, and math is obviously not my strong suit. That's why I became a lawyer, but I take it you moved up here before college.
Correct. Yeah. I came here in 95, which was like 100 years ago, and went to, like I said, Boston University. I loved Boston, stayed there and started practice, met my wife, and now we moved to the South Shore in Massachusetts. But I find, Matt, when, we talked about vulnerability before, and I think that's really legit and real. Yeah. And you layer in, like, I like to give to lawyers, and I wasn't always like this. I was more of a selfish guy, like all about Christopher Earley and how can I get referrals. Now it's like trying to help people out. And I find that it's much, much more depth and meaning to that. So anyway, a lot of journey, a lot of long, hard-earned lessons here along the way. But I feel like when you give to your clients, you give to other attorneys, the universe really rewards you tenfold.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. You went to BU in New England, and if you post on your LinkedIn all the time about you got waitlisted everywhere, rejected everywhere. I came up here because I'm from Alabama originally. I think we talked.
I did know that when you first met you. Yeah, I remember that, which is pretty cool.
And I came up
no accent though, which is
it comes out sometimes, and ironically, it comes out when I say the word accent. So whenever somebody says you don't have an accent, I'm like, well, yeah, I don't really have an accent. They're like, well, there, I hear it. So, that's always the way that conversation goes.
Totally, man. Totally.
So yeah, I mean, I came up here because I got into Harvard Law School and across the river. So, I mean, what do you have against people who go to good law schools?
You're my only friend from Harvard Law, man. You are. I mean, I love it. I think the paper chase, the scary law school movies, all that stuff. But yeah, we met, you and I think before the pandemic. I don't know how. Yeah, I may have just reached out to you. I just cold called you. I don't even know.
Yeah, we had Starbucks. Was it before? I think it was before the pandemic, which seems like a lifetime ago.
It was, but this before the pandemic, and you came out, and now we have a relationship. We work together, refer cases, but most lawyers say yes to that invitation. Some don't. I always wonder, like, what kind of attorney doesn't want to expand their network right now?
Oh yeah,
a podcast and all these things, and just got to say yes. I feel like sometimes some opportunities can happen, for both of us.
Yeah, I mean, so when I got rear-ended, I called you.
Yeah. No, I appreciate. I hope you're all right. From that, I really appreciate. Oh, yeah. But when an attorney reaches out, Matt, it's actually quite satisfying and humbling when the attorney reaches out, especially Harvard Law grads. No, you're super humble, man. I'm telling you, like you're a humble dude. You put your head down, you work hard, you do good work. You're building up a really nice practice. I'm super impressed. I'm very gratified to see your success. Makes me feel good,
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, that's a lot to do with you and the tips that, I know we've talked about some other things in the background. You've really led me on to a bunch of things about, because I used to just be constantly working. And then I realized, my kids are getting older and it's slipping away. There's going to be a day that they don't say, you want to work with, or do you want to play with me today? So I think that in a lot of ways, your mentorship has really changed not only my practice, but my life.
Oh, really makes me so happy. We all help each other. This is the way this whole thing works. We take from others, we give to others. I think that's helpful, but I sense from you an itch, a growth itch. And not a lot of lawyers honestly have that. They're happy just being a sole practitioner, burning the midnight oil. Things have to give. You can't see your kids as much. You're going to miss ball games. But you saw you need people around you to help you buy back your time. That's super helpful, right? As you grow your practice, you can leverage technology, leverage other people helping you out, to fulfill your goals.
Yeah, definitely. I think a lot of people just take it as, I'm going to do everything. I'm the man. And you got to learn how to let other people handle things. Today's episode is brought to you by the Law Office of Matthew W. Peterson. If you're facing legal trouble in Massachusetts, whether it's an OUI, a firearm charge, or even just a clerk magistrate hearing, the stakes couldn't be higher. This isn't the time to go at it alone. You need more than just a lawyer. You need a legal team that knows how to fight and knows how to win. That's why people across Massachusetts turn to the law office of Matthew W. Peterson. With years of experience in criminal defense, family law, and immigration, we've got the track record and the passion to defend your rights. We've successfully represented clients in some of the toughest situations out there, from first-time offenses to serious felony charges. We've helped people protect their record, their families, and their freedom. So don't wait until it's too late. Visit mwpetersonlaw.com to schedule your consultation or call 617-295-7500. That's mwpetersonlaw.com and 617-295-7500. Because when your future's on the line, you deserve a legal team that's all in. Stay informed, stay legal. Now, back to the show. So did you always want to be a lawyer, or what made you decide
No, I stumbled into this, you know? I mean, I was kind of a derelict for a long time as a youth, and then kind of got my act together a little bit more in high school than college, and then kind of got laser focused on I've always been kind of a worker, so I just focused on school. But like you said, I got waitlisted everywhere, literally, or rejected. And so New England gave me a shot. You know, my LSAT was low. That was the tough part. And so they let me in, and I just started working. And I didn't really take advantage of clerkships during law school. I just was too focused on the schoolwork as opposed to the external stuff, which you need, you know, to move forward at post-graduation. So I didn't really have a network set up. That's why I preach to the younger lawyers, Matt. You know, people, you got to grow your network, get out there, go to bar organizations, get on LinkedIn, get public, you know, you can't grow in the shadows, so get out there. And so I found myself in a tough spot. It was 2004. The job market was very poor. So finding a job was next to impossible. So I partnered up very informally for a few months with a much older lawyer. We discovered that wasn't working. I literally just had nothing, no money, no clients, no clue. But that's sort of an advantage. I didn't have kids. I wasn't married, like I said. So just let it fly, hung a shingle, and was doing okay. And once, it's going to sound ironic, once the pandemic hit is when things actually started moving favorably, because I started hiring people, you know, and scaling and growing. But in an odd way, the pandemic actually sort of furthered my career. At first, it was really scary, right?
Oh, yeah.
If you're a personal injury lawyer, there's no one going outside. There's no personal injury events, and that's how my family eats, right? And so, you know, helping people that have that misfortune of an accident. But since then, there's been a lot of growth. But I find passion through, you know, helping other lawyers, getting help from other lawyers. I just think we all grow when we, you know, help one another. But I like the way, you know, you're doing things the right way, growing, taking bets. You just talked earlier about it's hard to let go of control. A lot of lawyers like, I'm the man,
Oh, yeah.
I'm the woman, like this is my firm, you know, real iron, white knuckle approach. I was like that for a while. But once you can get out of that mindset as a practitioner, you know, as strictly as a technician, and be able to expand, to expand your ability to help people, and that's through other people. If you can just let go of the vine, like they say, let go of that rope, you can really do a lot of things. And I see, you know, you're growing rapidly, because I think you had that, like a shift that I know that most of us had. It's like letting go, letting people help you, so you can have the time to do what you're best at, right? Which is, you know, vision stuff, growing the firm, the next step of the firm.
Right. I mean, I used to spend hours on, like trying to create a graphic or something for social media, and I realized there are people who are much better at this than I am.
Same.
And I 100%. Should probably be practicing law.
Like, what am I doing here?
Right. So now you're a billboard lawyer. So I've seen your billboards everywhere. I think I saw two on my way to and from Cambridge today. Call early before it's too late.
Yes, my friend.
So do you get recognized everywhere? Like, do people say,
no, man. No.
Really?
No, I want to just throw this out there for the practitioner. Get a marketing assistant, because that marketing assistant thought of that phrase, call early before it's too late. Now we trademarked it. Yeah, she was a part-timer, fantastic. She was on the team for a few months. She gave me that one little thing, Matt, and that one little thing has worked out very well. So I use my name, right? I have a newsletter, all this stuff, the early show, all this stuff. So use what you got. But if you're a lawyer looking to grow, you need cases. Like, you're not going to be able to go to court without case. So get a part-time marketing assistant. You could find someone abroad. You could find someone in your state, whatever it is. But because you're the one who's going to be doing that graphic as you learn it, as I've learned the hard way, hire someone to do the graphic for you because they're much better at it than you are. You're the lawyer. Oh, yeah. You're not a graphic artist.
Exactly. So is it, how many lawyers do you have now in your firm?
We have 3 lawyers, 15 non-lawyers.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, just a lot of growth, and just moving in the right direction each day, trying to get a little bit better. For the practitioner, I would encourage you to just get like 1% better, say even every day. Like you do that, and you're gonna surpass everybody. You just constantly improve, like you're doing, like I'm doing, constantly getting a little bit better. How can I do the system better? How can I serve the clients better? How can I open up a case faster? How can I, get this case closed for my client faster? Like, all that stuff adds up. Just little changes, improvements, I think help massively.
Yeah. So what makes you different from, I won't even say the other names, the other lawyers on billboards out there?
Yeah.
Why should people call you instead of them?
So, because I'm different and the other guys and gals are different. Like some people want, XYZ lawyer, someone Chris Earley, some don't want Earley. They want the other lawyer, whoever it is. I've learned that not to compete. I was always trying to compete, but there's these, behemoth law firms. I'm not going to win that game. I'm not trying to. So little things like, how can I separate myself? Well, write my book, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And, have a catchy slogan. And if people like that, they're going to call me. If not, that's okay. But I think they should call me if my story resonates with them. If I'm not just some random lawyer, if they can find some connection, some affinity, if they look at my website and say, okay, this guy's been through a couple of things that I can relate to, that may be a good attorney-client relationship. I may be able to really, help you along. But I think the key is, and I keep talking about the practitioner listening to this because I think it's important, is that even if you're a practicing law or not, to not try to appeal to everybody. I think the key is to only try to attract a small slice of the population who really wants to work with you, because they're gonna be walking billboards, literally. They're gonna tell everyone that you did a good job. But if you're just trying to appeal to everybody, which I think a lot of mass marketers do, I'm just not playing that game. It's not who I am. It's not my brand. Trying to more authentically represent people, a little more, showing them a little more love, care, and concern, a real core values approach. Just trying to show up differently, than the typical ambulance, kind of chasing thing. Hey, we all need business, but I really care about the clients, Matt. Like we're obsessed.
Yeah.
I talk all the time about Jeff Bezos. Like he's really focused. I'm never going to be Jeff Bezos. I'm not trying to be, but we can learn from other successful people. And he's laser focused on the customer. And I feel like that's what we do very well, is focus on the client, what's best for the client. That's the game we play.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I mean, as someone who, I called you when I got in a car accident, I mean, your staff really guided me through everything, helped me not only with the legal side of it, but with the personal side of it. Like you should definitely go back to the doctor if you're feeling like this. I mean, a lot of people who you deal with, I mean, I always say I deal with people in the worst moment of their lives.
For sure.
I'm talking to them when they've just been arrested for the first time, or they've got a scary letter in the mail about, going to court for something they didn't do. And you're also dealing with people when they're hurt and injured and they're just as scared. And you guys really took care of me.
Oh, I'm so happy
when that happened. And I'm really thankful for that.
No, I'm thankful for the trust. When a fellow attorney reaches out, it means a lot. But I think we're the service business here, me and you, because people come to us because something bad has happened or is about to happen. That's what lawyers are in business to do, is to solve problems, either existing problems or anticipated problems. So how can you show love, care, and concern? How can you show your clients that love and serve people? That's what it's about. So when you call us, we're generally service-minded people. If you're a lawyer who doesn't like to serve people, you don't really see it like that, I don't know, it might be a tough slog through your career. Yeah. It's tough.
Yeah, definitely. So I want to shift gears here for a few minutes. Talk about, so for people that are watching this who are thinking about, if I get in an accident, what do I need to do? Because I hear all the time, like, you need to make sure to wait for the police. You need to take pictures. Don't move the car from the travel lanes, like all of that kind of stuff. So hopefully there won't be a next time for me. But
Sure.
If you do get in a wreck, like, what's the first thing you should do? What should you focus on? All of that. What would be your advice to somebody who got in a wreck?
Well, I will answer that, but I will also say that I read recently the majority of people who get involved in an accident that's not their fault, they don't seek legal help. So there's a major slice of the population that doesn't even get help, and the insurance industry loves that. So if that does happen to you, and the odds are, it's going to happen to most of us at some point. Just like you said very well, just capture as much as you can, photographs, statements, information. You have to sort of think defensively. That's where insurance companies are savvy. They really make you feel as if they have your back when it's anything but. I would encourage you, contact an attorney and just get a free consultation on the phone. Just talk about what happened. You just want to be proactive at the scene. As I said, get as much information as you can, document things, be hyper organized. And, if you have a medical problem, generally you consult the doctor. If you have a legal problem, if it's a criminal case, right? Do I need a lawyer for this? Well, call an attorney and ask, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we're in business to do, is to help people out. So get help, because it's the government who is against, right? A potential defendant, it's the insurance company against a potential claimant. So you and I, right? We're the buffer against those bigger forces. That's why the work we do is, I feel like, so meaningful. It's not about dough. It's about helping people against things that they can't control, may not even be aware of, that's coming, that's adversarial to them, because the money's going to flow. Like, the money happens as a consequence when you help people out. I get frustrated because a lot of people aren't aware of their rights. They saw a case on their own for $5,000. They have a herniated disc. They're getting injections. They're going to need surgery. That's a multi-million-dollar, six-figure case. I don't know. We're just throwing out random numbers here, just convenient numbers. But like, that makes me sad and bummed out that they just got shafted by the insurance company, right?
Yeah, I mean, you don't know what you don't know, right?
100%.
I mean, you could have said $10 million, you could have said $10,000, and I wouldn't know what that's worth. And I mean, I'm a lawyer, so. Right.
100%. But, like you get calls all the time. People, it's like, well, I'm so glad you called me, John Smith, because here's what's going on. And now he knows what he needs to know to make good choices. That's where we come in, do good work.
So definitely call a lawyer, and you don't know what you don't know, and you should try to see your options. What about on the scene at the time? Like, should you definitely wait for the police? Is it all the time is there a one size fits all answer to that?
Good question. No, but I think I'm a big fan of being proactive in all facets of life. So, if you're completely fine, no need to take an ambulance, right? But if you're feeling discomfort, I would report that. Like, I would really avoid saying I'm sorry, even if you think you're at fault, because you may not be at fault. You may be partially at fault. You may not be at fault at all. Words matter. So someone listening to this, it's going to happen to you. You're going to have the misfortune of being in a wreck, but you got to be really careful what you say to people. You got to be careful to, if you're a tough guy and if you use medical treatment, but you're really injured, like, you can't get legal help because the lawyer can't help you unless there's some documented treatment that you actually needed to undergo. Those are some things I would do. Just consult an attorney, get yourself better, like, focus on getting yourself better, get your health physically right, protect your legal rights, right? And I think good things will flow from a bad situation.
We both had Geico, and Geico realized they could just blame both of us and they wouldn't have to pay either one of us.
Yeah, it's real. It's real.
I mean, and it's like, I did talk to an attorney. This was when I was in Alabama, so I didn't talk to you yet, but I did talk to an attorney about it, and they're like, yeah, it's probably not worth it, but it's those sorts of things that you don't know what you don't know, and it's definitely worth it to talk to somebody. So, I mean, I know that you have to get out of here in a couple of minutes. So if there's one thing that you want people who are injured to know, I mean, besides talk to an attorney, is there something else that they should know?
I'd buy enough car insurance, right? Most of us have a motor vehicle. I would buy enough insurance so you're covered. It's pennies on the dollar to get increasingly higher levels of coverage. You could spend a few more bucks and get $100,000 more in coverage. So don't cheap out on your car insurance. Because if you get into a wreck with someone who doesn't have a lot of insurance, you're in a tough spot unless you have what's called underinsured coverage. So I would talk to your agent, because I see it all day. I mean, Matt, I've had cases involving death where there's $20,000 in insurance coverage. Having to talk to a family about that is just gut wrenching. Buy as much insurance as you can afford. Car insurance. Make sure you have good homeowners insurance. These are things, someone's going to slip and fall potentially in your property. You'd be sued, right? If you're a renter, I would encourage you to have renter's insurance. These little things, sometimes we don't want to buy these things, but it's super important to be covered. So that would be my best thing, my best suggestion. Spend a few bucks. It's so cheap. Get as much insurance as you possibly can.
Yeah. Well, I know we both got to get going, but yeah, I really appreciate you sitting down with me and talking with me about all this stuff. It's always great to speak with you, and hopefully we'll catch up sometime soon when our paths meet in Boston.
I would love to, Matt. Keep doing what you're doing. I'm super impressed. I'm super happy for you. So keep doing your thing.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, Matt.